St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We FM is SVG.
Good afternoon and welcome to WFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Shop with confidence at Courts. Get the lowest prices guaranteed. Get appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. If you find a lower price on any other products elsewhere, we'll match the price. Plus, we'll give you back 110% of the difference. Shop with confidence only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
Welcome back to WFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited. First, on the local scene, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is attending the summit of the Community of Latin America and the Caribbean States, CELAC, which convened in Honduras yesterday. The Prime Minister and his delegation arrived in Honduras on Tuesday, April 7th. Upon arrival, he was received by Secretary of State Ruta Castillo-Harry at the Science, Technology and Innovation Office. The regional summit is set to discuss issues such as integration, peacekeeping, and migration. The agenda includes the approval of a declaration which will guide the political and integration efforts of Latin America and the Caribbean, statements, and the handover of the pro tempore presidency to Colombian President Gustavo Petro. Today, the Prime Minister and members of his delegation, which also includes local Garifuna representative Zoani Nero, will visit the Garifuna community in Honduras. Honorable Carlos James, Minister of Tourism, said there was a need for transformation within the Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, in order to maximize the full potential of Vincimas as the country's largest cultural festival. The minister was speaking at the CDC media briefing on April 8, where he noted that the festival has untapped potential in areas like creative industries, digital media, and tourism. Minister James noted that the government's commitment to the development of the festival is reflected in the increase in prize monies in 2024, is an acknowledgement by the government of the festival's economic contribution and the talent it fosters. Cultural Ambassador and new CEO of CDC, Rodney Small, outlined a vision for a re-energized CDC anchored in technology, stakeholder empowerment, and transparency. He stressed the importance of reinvesting event revenue into the community and elevating the festival experience for locals and international visitors alike. Small said there is a long-term strategy to transform Vincimas into a globally recognized cultural brand by 2026 to 2027. Chairman of the CDC, Ricardo Adams, added that collaboration across the private sector, promoters, and the CDC is essential to delivering a stronger, more unified carnival product. Still on the local scene, police on April 8, 2025, arrested and charged Ivan DuPont, a 62-year-old resident of Lodge Village, with the offense of theft. The investigations revealed that the accused stole 1 quart of a Sunset rum valued at $13.56 EC on 2 separate occasions, the total value being $27.12, the property of Massey Stores, Kingston. The offenses were committed on March 27, 2025 and April 8, 2025, respectively. DuPont appeared before the Kingston Magistrate Court where he pled guilty. He was ordered to compensate Massey Stores $13.56 forthwith or face 3 weeks at His Majesty's prison. DuPont was given a restitution order for the item, or he would be sentenced to 1 month at His Majesty's prison. The defendant also received a suspended sentence for 18 months. On to news in the region. A High Court judge has sentenced a man in Belize to more than 20 years in jail after he was found guilty on 3 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. Justice Nigel Pilgrim sentenced Jeffrey Pott to 20 years and 5 months in prison after he was found guilty of having sex with a 13-year-old girl in 2021 and 2022, and again when she was 14 years old. In sentencing him, Justice Pelgrim said he had considered both aggravating and mitigating factors and referenced Section 47(1)29 of the Criminal Code, which states that anyone who has sex with someone under 16 years, with or without consent, commits an offense punishable by a minimum of 20 years up to life imprisonment. He further stated that he also took into account the new sentencing guidelines of the Senior Courts of Belize that came into effect on January this year. Dominican police are continuing to arrest citizens in connection with the March 19th protest, which turned violent near Parliament in Roseau. According to Loop News, the latest arrest is prominent Dominican attorney Ronald Charles. Charles is said to have been among the protesters and also addressed the gathering on the day of the protest. He was also one of the lawyers representing individuals previously arrested for being part of the protest. It was reported that on Tuesday, police officers went to the law firm of Charles, seeking to take him for questioning. On Wednesday morning, Charles presented himself, accompanied by his lawyers, and was detained and formally charged at the police headquarters in Roseau, where he remains in custody. Up to 22 people have been arrested, charged, and granted bail so far in Dominica in connection with the March 19th protest. They were challenging 3 controversial electoral reform bills, which were eventually passed in Parliament. On the international scene, a woman in Australia has unknowingly given birth to a stranger's baby after her fertility clinic accidentally implanted another woman's embryo into her. Australian media reports the mix-up at Monash IVF in Brisbane, Queensland, has been blamed on human error. Last year, the same clinic paid a $56 million settlement to hundreds of patients whose embryos were destroyed despite them being viable. According to a spokesperson for Monash IVF, staff became aware of the problem in February when the birth parents asked to transfer their remaining frozen embryos to another clinic. It confirmed that an embryo from another patient was mistakenly thawed and transferred to the wrong person, resulting in the birth of the child. The clinic has launched an investigation and the incident has been referred to the regulatory bodies. Finally, in sports, former FIA Chief Executive Natalie Robin says motorsport's governing body has serious ongoing structural challenges. It is the first time Robin has spoken publicly since leaving the organization in May 2024, after just 18 months in the role. At the same time, the FIA said that Robin had left by mutual agreement to pursue opportunities outside the FIA. In fact, Robin was forced to resign following disagreements with FIA President Mohammed Ben Soleim. She was commenting in the wake of the resignation of FIA Deputy President of Sport, Robert Reid. This has been WFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Shanika Stapleton. Join us again at 3 o'clock for WFM's 3 p.m. news. WFM's Midday News came to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Looking for the right pair of frames to make you look glamorous? Come to Quartz Optical. You'll find a wide selection of stylish frames from Prada, Ray-Ban, Armani, Converse, Vogue, plus new arrivals for you to choose from. Get up to 30% off lens and frames, 15% off cash purchases $999 and over. Plus, you can book your eye examination appointment online today at quartzoptical.com. Wear it today and pay later with Quartz Ready Finance. Quartz Optical, value you can see. Offer ends April 24th, 2025. Special conditions apply.